But yeah, I don't actually have plans of ever returning to Twitter or like making a name for myself on YouTube or anything. So, yep. Okay, so there was something funky or not funky. Okay, never mind. We're good. Okay, so um January 9th was the day that we had to observe President Jimmy Carter's death. So there was no price action from 9 a.m. to 6. Thus, the market was effectively closed. So we're using January 8th, Wednesday's price action as previous day high and low. Um, if I recall correctly, let me look here. So 1800 is here when the day would have started to 1800 here. So we closed bearish on the actual 8th and we closed bearish on the actual 9th. So yeah, 2 consecutive days of bearish price action. So bias is bearish as far as OTE goes, as well as fixed range volume profile. I'm gonna tag everyone in a second. Forgot. How's everything going with you guys? How are you guys doing? How was your Tuesday? CPI Tuesday. Oh, tough. Sorry to hear that. How are you liking the Asia session? You can feel free to hop up here if you want, no pressure. But how are you liking Asia? How are you liking Asia compared to New York? uh, yeah, of course. Um, you mean, what do you mean? You guys trolled each other? I feel like I think the okay, yeah, I think kind of no matter what, like just, just for the sake of because it's NQ, the chop is more or less going to follow you around. Like not you specifically, but we change it up thinking, okay, like we're going to trade the better session, and then it ends up chopping as soon as we change the session. Like that's that's just the way of life, you know? Okay. So I've tagged everyone, I've done my part. So really, as far as fair value gaps go, we only have this guy up here. I'm not going to use OBs on the 1 hour, just going to use fair value gaps because they're obvious and unambiguous. So back to the 5-minute chart, we only have this 1 hour SIBI, which I will label for those who are not here. 1 hour SIBI, we've traded lower. We need to go through and mark all of our previous Q3s so that we know where we're at, or just our previous manipulation so that we know where we're at. So for those of you that don't know the model that we're testing, I think we're about on our like 7th or 8th session with this model specifically, but we are basically looking to capture the 4-hour candle expansion from the 5-minute manipulation swing that initiates that expansion. And this 5-minute manipulation, we are hoping to occur during Q3 specifically. Q3, according to Adrian's data, has the highest probability of creating the manipulation. From that manipulation, 2 standard deviations is the deviation that's most likely to deliver. Now, within, or the narrative that we are using for this setup is that we are marking out previous day high and low. Then we are marking OTE within that range, as well as fixed volume range profile in the direction of the daily closure. Then we are marking PDAs within OTE area, the 1 hour PDA raise specifically. 5 minute if it's obvious, but I think it's, safer bet to just say 1 hour. I might even change that now, actually. Once we have laid out our framework, then we will wait for a Q3 5-minute change in state of delivery to occur. Yeah, I do trade New York. I technically trade pre-market most of the time, like the 6 to 10 a.m. candle. So Q3 5-minute change state of delivery, displacement out of that manipulation zone. Then we will mark the PD arrays and OTE within that expansion out of that zone. Once it returns to the zone, we are looking for an entry at 0.5, 0.618, 0.705, or 0.79 retracement levels combined with the zone. So these levels have to be within the zone in order for us to take it. Those entries also have to be in the form of SBS entries 2, 4, or 5, and then we will target the 4-hour candle deviation. So like from here, for example, once we have this deviation, we'll target the half deviation. So 2.5, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, or these halves that align with this overall narrative. And we will trail stops at 1.5 standard deviations, and the trade idea is invalidated if 1.5 is reached before returning to the zone. Any questions? Besides Tyrant, I answered your question. Yeah, so I trade basically mostly pre-market if I can. I'm not trading. I never trade the open. I haven't traded the open in like over a year now, like maybe 18 months. So because even when I was streaming with UT, we never traded the open. Like we always got on after. So actually I haven't traded since April. I haven't traded May at all yet, because you saw I had that really big PNL in April, so I took the rest of April off. I haven't started trading in May yet. I intend to this week after CPI, which was today. So like after this yeah, like, as for me at least, that's how I look at it. For the record, if anyone is reading the chat, that's not what LMT teaches, right? Like, if we're profitable, we should be maximizing that profit and turning that profit into more profit. For me, call me lazy, but once I've hit my goal, I'm very willing to stop. And that's just me being lazy, though, not because I don't believe in what LMT says. I completely agree with that thought process, to be honest. But if I can stop trading, I will stop trading. And for what it's worth, for me at the moment, I'm very brand new to making 5 figures, right? So like I want this to sink in before I like blow the 5 figures. So I want to make the 5 figures, keep it. Make the 5 figures, keep it. And then after I've kept it for hopefully at least 6 months, which is actually this month now. So if I make 6 figures if I make 5 figures this month, this would be my 6th month in a row of making 5 figures. And then maybe I will start to expand that 5 figures into like, 20K instead of just 10K. Like consistently making 20K. So like, for example, December was the first month I made 13K that month. And then January I kicked off like making like 20K in the first week or something. So, from here, like I'm just trying to get adjusted to this income mentally. Once I've adjusted to this income mentally, emotionally, whatever, then I will start to expand. I'm basically new money, and I don't want to blow my new money. I really do not want to blow it. No. I haven't even gotten an oil change on my car in the past 6 months. So if that paints a picture, I did pay taxes last month in April, so I did actually spend quite a bit of money paying taxes, unfortunately. So, any other questions? While I do my job, should be doing my job. Yeah, I was hoping they would do it this year. Good grief. I was 100% hoping that they would abolish IRS this year. Not gonna lie to you. Okay, so we have, I guess this is London. Yeah, London Q4 here. So this actually takes quite a bit of time, like just kind of going through and making sure the framework is correct before we get started. Yeah, I hope, honestly though, I really do hope. Taxes are such a scam, but it's why we have roads and schools, apparently. That's what they say. So this is New York. This is AM Q3. Yeah. I basically made a last minute deposit to, like, I maxed out my 401k. Not my 401k. What's the other one? My IRA. I maxed out my IRA to reduce my tax load this year. And, you know, hoped for the best, basically. So we also have a Q3 here. So London Q3 making the low and Q4 making the high. I'm just gonna mark both of them because they are the extremes. Did you achieve your monthly goal with one account only or many? That's a good question. So December, 1 account. January, 2 accounts. February, also 2 accounts. So in December, it was with Alpha. In January, it was also in Alpha, and very little in my funded futures, because you know my funded only pays out 1,200. So, or with the accounts that I trade, because I only trade the standard, or not the standard, the starter. I only trade the starter plus with them, so they only pay out 1,200. So that, like, I think I got paid like 9,000 out of Alpha, $9,303. And so my funded futures pushed me over 10K with a $1,200 payout. Then in February, I hit TPT up hard. I hit Take Profit Trader. I got like 6 payouts from them solely. I hit them super, super hard. March was 3 props, actually. March was actually hard for me. I'm thankful that I got a payout to begin with, because March of last year I got 0 payouts. So March this year I got a payout from Top Step, TPT, and my funded futures. I utilized all 3, and then April I pretty much hit up only Top Step and my funded futures. So about, you know, basically 2 props per month, just about, with the exception of December, which was only Alpha, and then as well as you know, the March, where I used all 3. Like March was pretty hard mentally, and I think it's really just because I have the history of last year. I did not yes, I am only leveraging 1 account at a time. Like, I am only trading 1 account at a time, and then, like, I don't need to trade more, right? Like, trying to avoid using that language, but if I wanted to trade more to push over my goal for whatever reason, then my pretty much go-to is always going to be Top Step or my funded futures to, like, push me over, because Top Step, I get 50% of the equity, or the profit, and then my funded futures is like a fixed $1,200 payout. So with my funded futures, you only have to make $100 a day. So that is, like, you know, that's brainless. You can game the system and just trade that $100 a day, right? And they've made it clear that they don't care if you game it, technically. And then Top Step, you just have to make 200. So both of them are kind of like, you know, you can, NQ will sneeze that, and yeah. Okay, let me do my job. Sorry, guys. You guys don't mind if I talk to you, right? I assume? Okay. Alright, so we're kind of just consolidating here. There's no, I mean, we want to go higher to go lower effectively, right? Because we want to reach into OTE to go lower. We have yet to see where midnight is going to print right now. Why are we at 9 a.m.? Okay, hold on. I need to fast forward this actually, because we're supposed to be at 1800. There we go. Okay, so we did already take previous day low here. No, sorry, we took London low. Previous day low is technically all the way down here. No, sorry, that is the low. Hold on a second. This is the 9th. Okay, yeah, sorry. This is confusing because we closed early. Okay, so this is considered previous day low, this is previous day high. So the overall target is technically reached, right? So because we've reached the target, I would expect us to go back up to OTE. That's the only framework that I kind of have right now. This day might just be a wash, and we'll wait for the next day's price action. But so far this is what we have. So we flipped Q3 London so far. So now I'm gonna pull Q4's deviations to see where we're falling within that, since we've invalidated this. Alright, so we are in the 2 to 2.5 standard deviations here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I'm recording. Sorry, I just wanted to double check. Let me check that my mic is on. Okay, yeah, we're good. Alright, so we traded into Q4 London during Q3 of the AM session. We created a new manipulation, and we are trading down into 4 deviations of this New York deviation, and we're trading into 2 to 2.5 of this London deviation. And we've already reached the target of previous day low. We do have this target here, which is lunch low. Okay, so no, this is technically, because the 9th wasn't a complete day, previous day high should technically still be the 8th. Should still be from here to here. Let me just mark it manually, because it's the indicator that's marking it out right now. That's why it's confusing me. Okay, Asia's here, so that's where I have the fixed volume range profile also. Let me also just turn off OTE for now. Oops. And I'm gonna double check this on the daily. So yeah, this is what I'm referring to right here. See how this is an inside day? So we're still using the previous day high and previous day low from the 8th. Alright, and then I'm gonna pull OTE manually as well. Off by a smidge. When do you start streaming, T? When do you go live? Oh, he's already gone. Do you guys know when he goes live? Or when he's supposed to go live? Oh, okay. Maybe he just waits for PA to say. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so now we have OTE pulled out here manually from previous day low to previous day high. So we did already reach into 0.618 or below 50%, obviously. We may not go back into this SIBI here, but we could just keep trading lower, but we'll see. Like we'll have an idea if we keep accumulating at the accumulation and redistribution zones. Okay, so Asia. Alright. We want to be trading above this high to have a confirmed manipulation zone. We have not closed above it yet. Alright, there it is. Now that we have that closure, we have a Q2 manipulation. Asia. If I can spell. So this remains intact until we are proven wrong. I'll pull the deviation up with this. And 2 to 2.5 would bring us right into that SIBI, which is ideally where we want to go. And no clear SBS in my opinion from here so far. Nothing obvious that tells me, okay, I definitely, this is it. Okay, only going up so far. So from this expansion here, this could be 1, 2. With this first pullback here, this is inside candle, so I would consider this the first pullback. This is more or less, it's more aggressive than it is down here, I'd say. Keeps going. Okay, we are entering Q4, and again it keeps going. Let's see if we're at 1 to 1.5, so we've reached 1 deviation here, so we want to see if this will shift here, if it is counter trend. Alright, and it continues to go up. So nothing yet. We just have the zone. We can pull OTE of this expansion so far. And we are respecting AM session Q3 so far. We just don't have a clear displacement below this low for a CSD, for a change of state delivery, CISD, as Adrian would call it. Alright, and we keep expanding up. We have a new low. Okay. So this would be the new low to me. We closed it. We respected Q3 Asia 50% with wicks. I like that a lot. I'm just gonna pull up OTE here just to get an idea. So 0.618, and then when it goes all the way down, it's above 0.79. Okay. Clear that out. Alright, so now we have this expansion down. Let's see if we get a return to the zone, or if we get like clear displacement. Displacement can happen within the zone, but it is better when it's obvious. So what is obvious to me here is that we have this fair value gap as price is exiting the zone. We would like bigger gaps, obviously, but that suffices. That's there. I'll just pull up OTE as this is expanding. Alright, so we have our first pullback, 1, 2. Maybe it doesn't come back at all. Okay, oops, sorry, replayed too fast. Okay, now we're in Q2 of London now. Oh shoot, I forgot to mark this. This is Q1. Q1 London. Okay, so this looks like it can be invalidated. This looks like this was just a pullback. So now that the picture is a little bit clearer, where is... So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 with the sweep of 2. Or, you know, any of these could be 4 and this could be 5. But 4, 5 effectively. Let's say that 4, 5 for higher, for SPS higher. I think that would be it. And then if this is correct, then we want to see this invalidated, this zone flipped, and the expansion actually be higher to, because we've now returned to OT of this one as well. I'm just trying to decide if, I guess we'll see after the fact, but I'm trying to decide if we want to take this as an entry now, because this does meet the criteria. Hold on. Yeah, okay. We pulled OTE to 3. This does meet the criteria right here of 0.618. And then we would be targeting 1.5 deviation at a minimum above SBS 3. And then it really just becomes, yeah, this would be SBS 5, no doubt, as far as like what we would call the entry. Okay, I think I'm gonna take it. Looks like it fits. Let's see if the R is there. Yep, above 1 R, almost 2. So we could be wrong here. We could definitely, it could be the bearish SBS that's playing out here. So it could be 1, 2, 3. Sweep of 2 is 4. Let me just map it out for you guys. So 1, 2, 3, sweep of 2, so 4, and ideally 5, right? So we can get like a decent ways up before it comes back for our stop. So if this CSD is confirmed, we would trail our stops. Oh, never mind. Our TP is before our trailed stops. So yeah, that would be, we would just take a straight up loss on this. So now, the question here for me becomes, do I want to take this trade for potential upside? Because it is counter trend, right? And this deviation, oh sorry, this is actually too high. This one here. Okay, so we can trail our stops here prior to our TP. And our overall TP would be 1.5 of this guy. Because we're trading out of this. Oh, sorry, I'm lying. Can't take this. It's a Q2. This is why this backtest is so hard to like keep my bearings. Okay, I lied. We're not taking this trade. We are just gonna watch it play out. So we can only take trades that are stemming from a Q3. Apologies for using all that time to talk. All right, so we have the bearish SBS that could be in play from here, which would be 4-5. That's the trade that we would want to take if it plays out. And then this bullish SBS, if this is the trade that's actually playing out, we're just gonna watch it. So let me hide this guy. Sorry, I'll actually just delete the bullish one. And the bearish one is the one that we want to see play out. So once we sweep this, we can pretty much wait for the entry to occur right there. So as soon as it hits the zone, basically, we're good to go. Stop loss would be at the high, and then we would target the deviation that I don't have on my chart. We would target 1.5 at a minimum, but ultimately 4.5 really, because previous day low. Okay, pop this out. All right, so before I keep going, because I know I just went through a lot, does anyone have any questions? Sweet. Let's continue to go. So we officially have the sweep of 2, so we have our confirmed 4. Hopefully the 5 brings us into this guy. Oh, see, we can't even take this trade because it's Q1. This one right here. We can't take this trade because it's Q1. Let's see. SPS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yeah, we can't take that either. So we just have to watch this also play out. Alright, so the zone was not tapped here. But it did come back here for Q2. So looks like there could be a bullish one playing out here. Or it's already actually completed technically. So this is what I'm saying for this, so you guys can follow what I'm saying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5 for bullish case. And then 6 is the sweep of 3, so we already completed it anyway. Let's see if the bearish one hits. Oh my goodness, it did not sweep it. There is more than likely SMT here. We did not get into the zone. We did not get into the SIBI. So this is just a mistrade anyway, even if we were trading that criteria. Ooh, brutal. Okay, so London just chops. We're already at 5 a.m. anyway. I'm gonna remove this guy. Okay, I'll keep that one up. This one I should have expanded. So, Adrian's criteria at a minimum is that we always hit the zone. So, although like we have 50% and OTE down here, we cannot take a trade unless it's both an OTE level plus the zone. And that rule is based on the foundation of Adrian only requiring the zone really. For example, if it's not within OTE, he'll take it anyway. Like say 50% is landing here or less than 50% even, he'll take the zone every time basically. That's his base requirement. So for us to make it a little bit more high probability, we've made the requirement that it has to be OTE plus a zone. Alright, so this is 5 now. We're in here. Let's see if it invalidates this short idea that I have from this Q1 zone or not. And it does. Okay. So now from here, it does appear that this is playing out, and this is that bullish scenario that I was talking about that played out. I just want to confirm something here is when we confirmed this CSD. Okay, we did confirm it in Q2, so it's not a Q3 zone. Okay, so this confirms the bullish idea into this OTE area, which was the overall narrative that we wanted to see for the entire day. We wanted to see a return to OTE for lower, and the OTE levels are here. Let me pull this out. Just pretty choppy between Asia and London. Here is what I'm referring to. Alright, so we hit 0.5. We hit the SIBI. Oh, sorry, we hit 0.75 and the SIBI. A classic 5-minute model within 1 hour PD arrays is that we want to see like a 5-minute intermediate term high get taken out before the shift. We also now can just wait for another Q2 or Q3 manipulation. So we're in Q1 now. We've gone above Asia, flipped Asia. We've gone above AM session, haven't quite flipped it yet. This would be the next low to close for a change in state delivery. And if we do close it, it's not a Q3. It's Q1 until 7:30. Okay, so this is New York Q1 for now. This is actually painful. There's a lot of mistrades. Alright, so from Q1, let me move. I think I can delete this one. That's from previous day in New York. London is good. Alright, so we're still using both Q1 and Q2 of London. Let's see which one actually delivered on trend, or if both of them delivered. So we met 2. And we met 2. Yeah, so both directions delivered. So I'll keep both zones up. Both deviations delivered, I mean. Alright, and we've flipped London. So let's just see if this holds. If this acts now as support and resistance and it trades lower. Alright. So if it continues to trade lower, we have our 1, 2. Then we would get a 3, and then 4, 5. I assume is something like that. What would happen, in my opinion. Okay. All right, we had news. Let's see what the news was. So there's no rule to not trade news. Adrian does not trade news though, for what it's worth. Okay, so this was Friday. Oh, non-farm payroll. Okay. So we definitely wouldn't be trading that. Alright, so Q1 delivered. We are now in Q2. So this, I mean, from the eye, we can already tell that this deviation has already been met. This wouldn't have been a trade for us to take anyway. Because it's Q1 for this back test. I mean, we would not take this trade. I'll delete that. And now we will see if we get a deviation if we get a manipulation for Q2 and Q3. So Q2 would have to, because this is the low, Q2 or any manipulation is gonna have to be confirmed all the way up here anyway. So if we get a bearish manipulation, that's game. We're good to go there. So we obviously have this big 5-minute BISI. Let's see if we get some sort of change state delivery. Okay, so it's not strong, but we do have this here that we closed. This one. It is in Q3. I do want to see if we make a new high, but I'll just mark this, you know, for now as if we are anticipating that it'll hold. Q3 New York. Hey Cryptic, how's it going? Nice to see you. I'm here on a Tuesday like I said I would be. You too, stick to the plan. I think you were also here on Saturday when I said I would be here on Tuesday. Alright, so this is still expanding. We clearly have a 1, 2, right? Everyone sees that. Oh. Sorry, Cryptic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what we want to see. Okay. I will pull OTE up to be safe. Damn, just keeps going. Alright, so 1, that would still be 2, 3 would also still be here. We pulled OTE. It's tough, tough, tough. Okay, so now we've traded significantly lower, right? Q4 starts at 10:30. It should pop up any second now. Yeah, so we have Q4 here, and that's what I was about to say, is that once we close this high, we have a new Q4 manipulation, and we've already reached 5 deviations from this manipulation that occurred in Q3. Q1 London, Q1 New York looks like it already delivered as well. 5, yeah, I already marked that and deleted it. This delivered as well. So our downside targets have been met. Let's see if we go up from here. We'll watch this. I'll keep this bearish idea up in case it does play out, but because we've already reached our deviations going lower, I'm inclined to believe that we have a reversal here. Alright, and so far I'm wrong. This is actually brutal. So hold on. We don't get the sweep of 2. Unless this is 2, but I can't imagine that this is not 2. So we don't get the sweep of 2. There might be an SMT case here that we're not seeing. We're not considering SMT in the model, but it could be there. We didn't take the low. This would be a nasty SBS if this is bullish, right? So 1, 2, like too ambiguous, I think, to interpret. 4, 5. That would suck. That would really suck. Okay. So yeah, it's holding. This is technically Q4. We closed it in Q4. I don't even know if I have PM session quarters on. Let me double check. I do. Yeah, okay, Q2. Yeah, okay, so well, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3. We didn't break 3. So for this bullish case, when we sweep this 2, this bearish SBS could still be valid. Obviously, this PA sucks here, but, or, you know, lower time frame, I'm sure less than 5 minutes, this is fine. But I wouldn't, this isn't PA I would want to trade on the 5-minute chart. I would see this and just go about my day. All right, so we officially swept 2, so we now have our 4. We actually have a 4. So let's see if this bearish idea continues to play out. Let me pull everything down. For those of you that are just joining, feel free to let me know if you guys have any questions or not. All right, we're into the zone now. Let's see. Previous day low, we're well below at this point. We are retracing to it inside of Q3. Q1 delivered. Q3 also delivered. This could be the retest of previous day low to indeed trade lower. But I'm inclined to think that a higher time frame SBS is playing out here. And like if we pop into the 15-minute, which isn't necessarily part of the model, but what I think is that we have a 1, this is the first expansion out of the zone, right? 2, 3, and we're gonna go up and sweep 4, 5, higher time frame. We don't have a basis to do this yet in the model to like make this part mechanical. So I do want to short this, but I don't want to short it until this SBS is technically invalid. the current one on our chart. Yeah, thank you. So I'm just going to do it mechanically because, you know, for the sake of the exercise. Because we are trading into Q3 of New York. This could be the SBS that's playing out from there. So yeah, I'll go ahead and entertain the idea. I think I'm almost positive this is going to get stopped out. I'm like 99% sure this is going to get stopped out. But it does meet all the criteria if the narrative is correct. So I'm assuming that SBS is as such. We have one expanding out of the zone, right? This is a clear change in state delivery and market structure shift all in one. Where it's happening during Q3, right? We expand down, we have a retracement 2. We expand lower for 3. We don't take 3. Right, we just keep consolidating between 2 and 3, and then we finally go up and we sweep 4 right at the open of PM session, leading into the 4-hour candle. Okay, this is something I can do here. I'm just afraid that no. Okay, I'm gonna jump up to the 1-hour chart and hopefully it's not gonna cheat us and give us the answer. Okay, so it didn't give us the next candle is what I was hoping it wouldn't do. There's a 1-hour SIBI up here that's supporting my idea that we're gonna get stopped out. So there's a 1-hour SIBI. I think we're reaching for it to go lower. We've also now, we've taken the low. This is the low that wasn't swept of Q3, right? So we've gone lower, traded inside, and we effectively have a reversal here now because we've closed bullish, we've closed back in the range, closing in this inverse. So we're kind of between ideas. Not ideal. I do think we get stopped out. I'm just gonna let it play out. We're just back testing. I'm not losing any money here. Okay, all right, so we're in, right? Our stop loss is here. And that, the low of that SIBI. And we're in Q2. We do want to see a new manipulation to confirm like the SC that we're tackling here. But this again has already been met. We've retapped previous day low. Excuse me. We're trading from midpoint of Q3 New York. So if this does play out, we're targeting either the half deviations from a new manipulation that will occur like from this point. I actually think this is solid here, this swing low. So we're kind of front running the CSD here. And then the earliest we could trail our stop is here. This would also be our earliest TP. And then we're at least targeting like 3.5 basically. This would be our full target, 3.5. So, and then, you know, we just following the data, we'll mark 4 if we get there. So again, I do still think at this point this is wrong. Okay, so it expands and I'm wrong. I'm wrong about being wrong. Isn't that funny? All right, so look at this reaction to the zone here. We go back up to the CSD. Let's see. This is a Q4. Let's keep this in mind. This is a Q4. So the reason we took this trade is because it's stemming from a Q3. So this is Q4 from New York that we're trading into. Hey Sanju, how's it going? Yeah, I know. That's why this is such a hard back test, to be honest. I thought it would be easier. I'm not even gonna lie. Even when we were all creating the back test and we were like going through how we're gonna map it out, I was like, okay, this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be hard. Oh, it's turning out easier than we thought. Like as we get through the first few reps, and then like I constantly have to remind myself we're only taking Q3s. I constantly have to remind myself like of the full-on narrative of like these unmitigated zones. So it's actually super hard to make the narrative mechanical enough that the backtest is not form-fitting. I'm finding, which, you know, you've basically attended every backtest, so you know the struggle that I've been going through. Alright, so this is what I like so far. We've expanded down, we've gotten to 0.5 standard deviations, and we're accumulating. This is a good sign that we're likely to continue lower. Yes, a lot of variables. And at the same time, we're trying to reduce the amount of variables for backtesting, all the while trying to make the narrative mechanical and trying to like not overcomplicate it, but include enough moving pieces that it gives you the full story, right? So it's so hard. Yeah, so Sanju, this is the rule right here. These are the rules right here. I'll read over it for you one time. So we are basically trying to capture the 4-hour candle expansion from the 5-minute change of state of delivery or manipulation zone, a 5-minute Q3 that's occurring right before that 4-hour candle starts or expands, right? And the framework that we're using for this is that we're marking out previous day high and low. We are then marking OTE and the fixed range volume profile of previous day high to previous day low, and we're just following that direction of the daily closure. So if we close bearish, we're using a bearish OTE. And then we're marking the 1-hour PD raise within that OTE zone. From there, we are waiting for a Q3 5-minute change in state of delivery to occur. We wait for displacement out of that zone, which would make it a manipulation zone. And then once we have that displacement in the form of a fair value gap, we are marking the PD raise and OTE of that expansion. And these would now be the 5-minute PD raise and OTE. Once we return to that zone, we are waiting for a nested or a combination of 0.5, 0.618, 0.705, or 0.79 retracement levels, collectively known as the OTE zone. And as long as that OTE zone is touching or is nested with or is combined with the Q3 manipulation zone, we can take that entry in the form of SBS 245. So see, there's a lot of criteria there. It has to start at 5, it has to be a 5-minute Q3 change of state delivery. Then it has to have displacement along with PD raise and OTE. Then it has to return to the zone. Once it's in the zone, it has to meet all 3 criteria of being an OTE zone, in the zone, and it has to be an SBS 2, 4, or 5. Once all this criteria is met, we will then enter that trade targeting the 4-hour candle standard deviation. So for example, from this manipulation, we draw that deviation and we would target all the half levels essentially. We trail our stops once we get to 1.5 standard deviations, and then the idea is invalidated altogether if 1.5 is reached before returning to the zone. So if we get down to here and it never got back to the zone, we just opt to sit on our hands and not take the trade. Any questions? I will go back to the chart now. So we're obviously just going to finish up this day, guys. I apologize to those of you that are just entering. We're going to just finish up this day and then we will call it for the session. While I'm finishing this up though, I would like to know, for those of you that are here tonight, would it be easier for you guys if I started these sessions at 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m.? Because I'm absolutely happy to do that now that daylight savings time is in full effect, and you know the sun isn't going down until about now anyway, so I would love to stay out longer. Yeah, entity, yeah, this is here, I'll share the chart or share the thing with you guys. This is not you cannot duplicate this as a template yet, and it's because we have not fully tested it yet, so I don't want anyone to use the model thinking that like it's a full-on profitable model. So if you want to backtest it, you can mimic this sheet as much as possible, but I have not made it duplicatable because I don't want you guys to start tracking it as a live trading model. But this is what Adrian trades day in, day out. This is what he's been sharing with you guys for all of this year. If you go and study Adrian's channel, you will see days and days and days of this model panning out. And what's different about how Adrian trades live to this actual backtest is that we are only doing the Q3 version of it, and he does all quarters. He trades it from all the quarters. Alright, so far this is playing out. Once we hit 1.5, we can trail our stops. Alright, so we've trailed our stop mentally there. So our stop loss was this high from Q3. We will drag this guy out to where we hit 1.5, and we now go break even. And we will close this trade at end of day no matter what. We took a vote, and everyone closes their trade at 4 p.m. No one said that they would be trading past this or holding until 5. So no matter where we are at 4, we will close it. So we're already break even. Money's off the table. We have no risk here. And we would like to see it continue to expand lower, hopefully. There's our 1550. All right, so that's the end of day. So we did hit 1.5. We did not hit full TP at this point. I'm gonna hold on. I've asked TradingView to do this, but they have not yet. We hit 3R. So we closed at about 2.5R. So this is still a satisfactory trade. But the whole idea was a 6R trade. So let me just go to here. Alright, and we will track this as such. So first I take a screenshot of the entire thing. The reason why we have so much data is because January 9th was a holiday, which I want to indicate on the chart. Observance of Jimmy Carter. Just put President Carter. Sorry, my I don't know if TradingView is going slow or my keyboard is going slow, but they're not in sync right now. Okay. All right. Copy link. Q through Q1. Okay. So for those of you that have been here since the beginning of the session, we saw exactly what we wanted to play out. This was a little hard to navigate in here until we got there, but overall we got the entire narrative of reaching into previous day OTE inside of this 1 hour SIBI. From there we just wait for a 5-minute CSD. That 5-minute CSD unfortunately happened in Q1, so we could not trade from there, but then we eventually got a Q3 manipulation that we could trade from, which is where this trade originated from. All right, so now go on to tracking this. This is only one trade, I believe, because it's above 0.79, so good on us for tracking it. We are tracking every single OTE level as one individual trade. Checking my phone really quick. What do you mean? I mean backtest altogether? So although we are doing it in replay, it's really just for like to get the reps in, right? So that all of us understand the model, as if we're seeing it live. But let's say I interpreted it wrong during replay. I will go back and like correct the idea before we track it as a rep for the backtest, right? So that the data is actually to the data and not according to how we're reading it, if that makes sense. Because that there is a difference to me if everyone's not following that. Because first, your backtest should just be solely based on what data is actually doing. You can technically backtest in hindsight. But for us to learn the model simultaneously, we do it in replay so that we're getting in the reps as if like, okay, how would we interpret this if this was live price action? And this is 2 phases of backtesting, according to me, right? So no one teaches it like this specifically, but on my YouTube channel, my introduction to backtest for everyone, there's 4 phases of backtesting. Backtesting as far as data collection is the 3rd phase, where you're going through and you're actually, you know, marking it how it's happening in real data, as opposed to market replay, you're testing your ability to read the model live. You guys are probably like, we didn't ask for any of that. All right, so 1355 here. So key point is happening in the time of a macro, which interestingly enough T-Trades has come on to debunk. All right, so we exited this trade right at 4. Wait, why did I put, oh yeah, it is 4 is 1600. And this was SBS 5. Sorry, this is duration. 14 to 16, that's 120, 125. This was the 2 to 6 p.m. candles. We took the trade during Q2. This was inside of, ooh. So this is a pretty weak OB to me. I'm gonna say that this trade was actually taken within this breaker. This breaker is, no, they're kind of both not satisfactory to me. I'll go with OB. So this OB is weak to me because we didn't take liquidity. This breaker is weak to me because we don't have big bodies. I'll go with OB. That's really the most, the OB is stronger than the breaker. We don't have a fair value gap. OB 0.79 level. This is SBS 5. 5 swept 4. This was during the 1350 to 1410 macro, and this was, we hit 1.5. We didn't hit anything else, and R was 2.55. Alright, and from this retracement level, we went from 0.79 straight to 1.5. Alright, so this is the first chart of the overall picture. And then we will zoom into just the trade alone. This is a new 1H Civi. I just want to zoom into the day. Okay. Alright, so the only note that I have here is that the day prior was a holiday, or wasn't necessarily a holiday, but the market was closed. And the reason that's of importance is because we couldn't use the previous day's criteria as far as previous day high and low. We had to use the day before because previous day was an inside day. Which I will also say. Okay, that's it for this session, guys. Any questions? And no one answered my question on if 8 p.m. works better. So that's cool. No worries. I can continue talking to myself. It's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna be calling it here. Any final questions, comments, concerns, anything about anything else? Tyrant was on here earlier at the beginning. I answered quite a bit of questions for him. Yeah, this is just how these sessions go, you know. For what it's worth, I will always put this out there if you guys don't know. I'm happy to let one of you guys come on and you go through the model yourself and I collect the data. This will significantly help you in getting acquainted with the model. So in case you guys don't know that that's a thing, I'm happy to have you up here. You share your screen, you go through the model, you question and poke challenges in it. And then, you know, we can kind of struggle through the model together. I'm not like, just because I'm running the session doesn't mean I know the model inside out. The point of running the session is to learn the model inside out. So, all right, guys, cheers. Have a good night. Be safe. After CPI today, the rest of the week should be sweet and easy. So yeah, make that money. Don't let it make you.